Conditions are just the same. I mean, the work is hard. You can't get around doing the work. The work's still the same. I mean, you might have less instances of repetitive motion or carpal tunnel syndrome, because maybe the way they've formulate the blade of the knife, instead of going this way, now you can go this way, or whatnot. I mean, so, but the work's still hard. I mean, the hours are still long. I mean, and the wet is you're still gonna get wet. I mean, the job hasn't necessarily been automated to the point where all you do is press a button. Pretty much the same. Although the job that I did the first time, where I had to push each individual fish through a chute, now they have a vacuum that vacuums the fish up. So all you got to do is hold this big old round tube there and make sure you can vacuum all the fish up, and it just goes up a tube. Whereas before we had to individually push these fish manually. It's the only thing that I can think of, that does anything. You still have to go into freezers and rack them and pack the fish, fresh frozen fish. Before, actually, they never had that. When I was working up there, they had everything went into a can. Now they have fresh frozen product that they send all over the world, and it's blast frozen and done that way. And so that's changed, but it's still all manual stuff. I mean, there are some other, they've had some quality added things where they specialize. Some of the buyers are requesting, like, salt injected fish, which is skin off, and that they run it through, and they do it specifically for, and there's more money involved, but it's also labor intensive. The Japanese sometimes prefer the roe or the eggs a certain way, and they'll pay a little bit more for that, but that's also more labor intensive. But they make more money off those eggs than they do on the actual bodies, or on the actual product itself. But it's still work. I mean, it's still hard work, wet work, long hours.